As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear a starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear a robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear a robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sinners, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down to the river to pray. Let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. Come down to the river, let's go down. Come on down and pray, let's go down. Come down to the river, let's go down. Let's go down and pray, let's go down. Come down to the river, let's go down. Let's go down and pray. Let's go down. Come down to the river. Let's go down. Let's go down and pray. Let's go down. Come on, all fathers. Let's go down. Come on, all mothers. Come on, all sinners. Let's go down. Let's go down and pray, and we'll say fathers and mothers, sisters and brothers. Let's go down. Come on, everybody, let's go down and pray. Let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. Take us down to the river to pray. Let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. Oh Lord, let's go down. Let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. Come on down, pray.
Good evening and welcome. We are glad you've come to worship with us this evening. In just a moment, we're going to turn everything over to Jason and the guys and let them just roll with a worship service. We hope you've come to do that. But here at the beginning, we're going to take up our initial just regular offering. But don't put your wallets or your purses up or anything like that. You'll need them again at the end of the service, especially because we didn't do a love offering this morning. So much responsibility has been given to you, and you need to step up, okay? Sound right? You didn't. I say that on my own, not because of him. There's one question, Jason, that has come into the crowd this evening more than once. Okay. And they said, we haven't been introduced to him. And I said, oh, but you have been introduced to him. So,
yeah, but I'll reintroduce.
Yes, just going to take care of that. But I miss my brother in hair.
Yeah. Okay,
so he'll explain that in just a moment. But we are glad that you've come to worship with us this evening. And we're going to ask our ushers to go ahead and come forward. And this is going to be our regular offering for the evening. And then after that, we're just going to worship.
Let's just jam something. That'd be fun. Let's do that. We're home. This is like family, so just whatever you give them to them.
us back to your house tonight to worship you. And thank you for Jason Lovins and the musicians tonight that can come and just glorify your name. We ask that you be with us throughout this week and let us be in your will. For it's in Christ's name we pray, amen.
Why don't y'all stand with us? Get your hands going like this. We hadn't done this one in a while. I thought it'd be fun to kick it off. Oh, they tell me of a home far beyond the sky. Oh, they tell me of a home far away. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Yeah. Oh, they tell me of a home where my friends have gone. They tell me of a land far away, where the tree of life and eternal bloom sheds its fragrance through the unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Come on. Oh, they tell me of a king in his beauty there, and they tell me that mine eyes shall behold, where he sits on a throne that's whiter than snow, in that city that is made of gold. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Unclouded day. Come on. Stand for one more. Let's keep worshiping tonight. Come on. All right, this one's newer, but a lot of y'all know it. So I'm going to really need you to sing it out tonight. But really pay attention to the words of this song. It's special. I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight. It was my tomb till I met you. Oh, I was breathing, but not alive. All my failures I tried to hide. You know about that? It was my tomb till I met you. Oh, then you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul. Now your freedom is all that I know. Oh, the old made new. Jesus, when I met you, oh, then you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. I needed a rescue. Sing. I needed rescue. My sin was heavy. All right, come on. I needed shelter. I was an orphan, but you called me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future. My eyes are open, and when you called my name, come on, I ran out of that grave. All right, sing this. I ran out of that grave into your glorious day. I ran out of that grave into your glorious day. Sing it out. I ran out of that grave into your glorious day. I ran out of that grave into your glorious day. Yeah. Amen. You guys can be seated. This is one of my favorite songs we've ever recorded. Lord, you break the chains of bondage, and you set your people free. You always have, you always will. Lord, you lead us in the desert, and you part the raging sea. You always have, you always will. God, your love endures forever, and your faithfulness remains. falling, and you hold us when we're scared. You always have, you always will. Ever near us when we wonder, Lord, you hear each whisper prayer. You always have, you always will. God, your love endures forever, and your faithfulness remains always. God, you hold our lives together. You always have, you always will. At your name the nations bow, 'cause your great name can shake the ground. And for your name and your renown, we will shout, we will shout. At your name the nations bow, 'cause your great name can shake the ground. And for your name and your renown, we will shout, we will shout. Your love endures forever. Do you believe that? And your faithfulness remains always. God, you hold our lives together. You always have, you always will. Y'all, I got something in my throat. I think it's, I just ate too much today. I don't know if you did or not, but I did. I was thinking, like, I think it's probably been a while since we just kind of had just like a moment with you guys and had this kind of setting, because typically we're here and it's either Sunday morning or it's during Culture Shock, and if you don't know what that is, it's an awesome youth thing that has been going on here for a long time now, and we've been privileged to be a part of that. And I don't know that we've really just kind of just had time with you guys and just had a night of worship like this, and maybe a long time, I don't know. And so I started thinking, like, because we're here so much and we're here in those kind of settings, that maybe, just maybe, you haven't heard maybe parts of the journey that are now a long time ago. But how people ask me all the time now, we've been doing it long enough. And if you don't know us, I've been doing it almost 20 years, which is crazy to think about. And I always tell people I started when I was 12, and that's a lie. And it hit me this summer, y'all. We did a camp, and I started thinking, and I said, man, this is my 19th summer in a row to do some sort of youth camp, whether it was in summers past where we would literally just stay gone the whole summer, and we would do that, and or there's been years where we would just do 2 or 3 camps here and there, and we'd bounce around, but we did one this summer, and it hit me that, man, this is my 19th summer to do a camp, and the seniors at this camp were not even born yet, y'all. Like, that's crazy. I just kind of had a moment where I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And we're kind of past that point where people are asking me, like, when are you going to get a real job? So thankfully, we got past that. Because that was a thing for a while, I mean, it may, people, I'm sure there are people that still think that, but we've been past that, I guess, for a little while now. But anyway, if you don't know, I grew up in a little town called Canova, West Virginia, just right across the river from where I live now in Kentucky. And I grew up, y'all, in like my little Southern gospel bubble. Like, I didn't know
contemporary Christian music existed. I didn't know this worship music existed. I didn't know it was a thing. I had never heard it. I knew who Bill Gaither was, and I could tell you every song that the Gaither Vocal Band sang, and I could sing every song that the Gaither Vocal Band sang. But I didn't know about all this. The only reason I ever even learned to play the guitar was just to play for my grandma. She sang in church, and she was awesome, and literally that was the main reason I even wanted to learn to play the guitar. And so I say all that to say, I mean, I really did grow up just singing those just old gospel songs, you know, and we sang a bunch of them today. That was fun. It brought back some good memories. We were at your pastor's house, and we sang some songs today with his mother-in-law. Y'all know the whole deal, and she was singing, y'all. It was awesome. We had a great day. But it brought back just so many memories of just singing those old songs that really just mean a lot to me. And so that was how it was. I mean, just singing those old, just kind of country gospel songs, you know, and then all of a sudden I get invited to First Baptist Canova. That was the big Baptist church in town. They had a big youth group, and on Sunday nights it would be like 200 people, 200 kids would show up on Sunday nights, and they're singing this praise and worship stuff that I had never heard before. I mean, y'all, like, our God is an awesome God, He reigns, like old songs like that, you know. And if you didn't know, that song is old. I'm pretty sure that's in the Baptist hymnal. Look it up. I think it is. I had never heard this stuff before, and there was something special that just kind of hit me. It was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, we're singing these songs directly to God. You know, I grew up singing a lot of these hymns in the church that were singing about God, and we're all kind of coming together and singing. If you think about it, think about a lot of those songs. A lot of those hymns, we're not singing directly to God. We're singing about God, and they're beautiful. And then all of a sudden, I'm singing these songs that were directed straight to God, and it just kind of changed my whole perspective on this whole corporate worship thing. And I'm like, man, this is beautiful, and started to hear just some songs that really changed my whole perspective. I'll bounce around here a little bit. The one old worship song that I would say really kind of set me on a path of, okay, I think I might begin to understand what this looks like is this song, and that we'll sing here in a second. But if you don't know the story of this song, the writer of this song, their church had become this new contemporary cool rockin' church, and they're just growing, and they're doing all these things, and they came to realize that man, we're putting a lot of focus on what's happening on the platform, and really started to question themselves, like, wait a minute, like, what's our motivation for this? Why are we doing this? And so they showed up one Sunday, and literally the stage was cleared. It was bare. I mean, imagine coming to church on Sunday and there's nothing. There's no piano. There's no organ. There's no choir. There's no band. There's no singers. There's nothing. What would that look like to us? How would we approach that? And that's where the lyrics to this song came from. And so when you hear that, puts it into a whole different perspective. But so this was kind of the beginning of my journey, trying to figure out, like, this whole music thing, and what does it look like for me, and why am I even doing this and doing it this way? And this one was a big part of it. When the music fades and all is stripped away, and I simply come. Longing just to bring something that's of worth that will bless your heart. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, when it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it. When it's all about you, it's all about you, Jesus. King of endless worth, no one could express how much you deserve. Though I'm weak and poor, Lord, all I have is yours, every single breath. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. Oh, I'm coming back to the heart of worship, when it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it. When it's all about you, it's all about you, Jesus. And so, as you can imagine, this teenager who's trying to even just figure out who he is anyway, comes in, has an encounter with the Lord, and hears that, and starts to see, okay, I think I might get what this is talking about, and so I go to college, and just typical kid through high school. Like, I would sing in church, but only if I sang with my grandma, or if they wanted me to sing. Like, it just wasn't something I was really focused on. I always loved music and wanted to do music, but high school gets in the way, and as most of y'all know, like, we just get so busy that we even just kind of forget to do life sometimes, and so music was just always kind of on the side. But I go to college, and the Lord totally put me in a place where He did, because I know I wouldn't be where I am. And all of a sudden, I found myself surrounded by a group of guys, and we had a band, and it was like, wow, okay, I think we're gonna do this. And we thought we were gonna be rock stars for Jesus and the whole deal, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of happened where we started getting invited to come and lead worship, and that went on for a couple years. And it wasn't any of these guys, it was the original band, and it was not called the Jason Lovins Band. People ask me that too all the time, and we were all there in college, and we met at 4 o'clock every day, religiously, 4 o'clock, because that was when everyone could meet with their schedules. And a few months later, we got invited to do like our first performance, and we're like, man, we need a band name. And the secretary of our BCM there, she was like, well, I've been calling you guys the 4 o'clock band for like 3 months now. And we were like, cool, we're the 4 o'clock band. That was, it was that simple. And that's kind of how it started. And that went on for a couple years. And you know, like most normal people, I knew that those guys were going to graduate and get real jobs, and I just thought that was a terrible idea. And the Lord was really showing me in many ways that, man, I have this for you. Like if you're going to do this, you know, I'll make a way. And I really believe that. And so that kind of started a journey, and we got our first invite to like a big thing, like out of state. You know, I didn't even know how we were going to get there. I just told them we'll be there. Literally, just I booked it all, we did it all, and I had no clue how we were going to make it happen. But I knew I had 2 months to figure it out, and so our bass player, his name was Dave Walker. He was like, man, I can't go that weekend to Arkansas. And they said, well, there's this Mexican kid named Jose, and he's not Mexican. We're just too dumb to ask, and we didn't know any better. And they said, he's really good on the bass. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I met him, and I don't even remember how it happened. I just know that I said, hey, do you want to go to Arkansas? And you were like, yeah. And he said, do you have a piano player? And I was like, actually, no, we don't. And he said, well, I have a friend named Rodney. He's really good on the piano. And I was like, sure, bring him too. And literally, well, this would have been, to put it in perspective, this would have been the fall semester of 2002.
So they locked us in the trailer. And we were just kidding.
So these guys literally got in a van. We were too poor. We didn't even have a trailer. Like, we literally piled in a church van and put everything we could pile in there. And these two guys got in the van with us, and we took off to Arkansas. And I had no idea that all these years later we would still be doing this and still crawling in a van. And we used to jump in the van. Now we kind of crawl. And
Jason, did you even remember? I don't remember what songs we were going to even play. I never even heard you sing when we went into this thing.
I remember one.
Okay.
This is not rehearsed, and we haven't done this forever, but you'll know. Yeah, let's do this in E.
Over the mountains and the seas, your river runs with love for me. And I will open up my heart and let the healer set me free. I'm happy to be in the truth, and I will daily lift my hands, for I will always sing of when your love came down. I could sing of your love forever. I could sing of your love forever. I could sing of your love forever. I could sing of your love forever.
Sobre montañas y el mar, tu río corre para amar, y al abrir mi corazón, el Salvador me radiará. Estoy feliz en la verdad, y a ti mis manos alzaré. Por eso siempre cantaré de cuando viniste a mí, y cantaré de tu amor por siempre. Cantaré de tu amor por siempre, y cantaré de tu amor por siempre, y cantaré de tu amor por siempre.
We haven't done that in a while. And so, as you can imagine, you know, I'm hanging out with these guys more and more, and I'm blown away by their talent. And they both came to this country. If you don't know, I guess it's safe to say some people don't know, they both came to college in Morehead, Kentucky. They're from Venezuela, and they're from different cities. They didn't even know each other until they came to Kentucky, y'all. They literally, well, let me backtrack. Rodney knew English before he came to America. Jose did not. He learned English in Kentucky. I always tell people one of them has a microphone, one doesn't. You can figure out who learned a little better than the other. But and so this started a whole new journey that I had no idea what was going to happen. And they both came to this country through very different circumstances. Jose's family was very wealthy, even for American standards, y'all. Like, I mean, he had a driver and a nanny. Anybody else ever had a driver and a nanny? I'm just saying, like, you know, fairly wealthy for even our standards. And he was very blessed, but he did not grow up in a Christian home, and he started playing music at a young age, and I guess they called him the discotheques even at his age when he was a teenager, and they would sneak him in and he would play music, and his parents decided they were going to send him to America so he would get a real job and maybe not play music and do all these silly things, and that didn't really work out like they planned, but that's how he ended up here. And he literally showed up on campus at Morehead State University and didn't know a lick of English, y'all. And he had a sweet little lady who kind of helped him through and even like talked him through like how to even get his meal cards and all that stuff you do on campus, and just crazy stuff. And Rodney came through very different circumstances. Rodney was very much a minority in his country, Venezuela, and he grew up in a Christian home. And literally as a kid, missionaries would come, and so he began to learn English. And as they would keep coming back, he ended up becoming their interpreter. And he grew up leading worship at his church in Venezuela. Most of you have probably heard that story. And it was his dream to come to America, and through some missionaries and different people like that, they were able to make that happen. And what we don't always tell is, and it's a long story, but I'll try to give you the very brief version. But so they're both here. We're starting to travel. We're kind of doing our thing, and we're still in college. And some of us are better students than others, and we're just trying to figure out, man, what is this that the Lord is doing with this whole music thing? And Jose came to me first, and if you know anything about their country, Venezuela, it's just a mess, y'all. It's just not good. And I mean, I don't care to tell you, and I know he wouldn't care for me to tell you either. I mean, Jose had a credit card that was basically just unlimited, and he always could just have whatever he wanted. And he became a Christian in college, and he starts just buying everybody else food and taking care of all of his friends and taking care of Rodney, and all of a sudden his credit card didn't work, and he can't get a hold of his parents, and eventually we learned that his parents lost everything. Their assets were frozen, and the government was taking all their, it was just bad. It was really bad. And so he's here, and he's stuck in America. And literally almost the same, I think it was the same week. It felt like it was just all right there on top of each other. Rodney gets a call from the people who were helping pay his tuition and the ministry that was helping fund his tuition, and they said, we're sorry, we're out of money. We can't pay your tuition anymore. And you still had a good 2.5 years left, at least, maybe 3, to finish college. And so that sent us in a whirlwind, and we just sat down one day, and I just asked him, I said, I mean, do you want to stay here? Like, do you really want to do this? Because if you don't know, when you're here on your student visa and you don't pay your tuition, you get sent home. I mean, it's that simple. And they said, yeah, we really feel like God has us here, and we want to stay. And so we literally started going to churches, even sometimes just the three of us, and we would sing songs like that and let Rodney sing in Spanish, and we were just trying to raise money to even pay their tuition. It was a long journey, and I'll shorten it to say this: there was a point where literally they were starving on campus, and that sounds super dramatic because a lot of us, hopefully most of us, hopefully all of us, would not be able to wrap our head around what that looks like. But at that point, I had got married and I moved back home, and they would just come and sing with me every time we could and do all this and that, and they literally had went days at a time and not eat. And the Lord would show up, and they have all these amazing stories that I hope someday you'll get to hear of how the Lord just provided all this time. But in the beginning, it was rough, and so through some crazy circumstances, we met a man who was friends with the governor of Kentucky, and we didn't know this until many years later. But he called the governor of Kentucky, and the governor of Kentucky calls the president of the university and says, I need you to take care of those two boys from Venezuela, or we're going to have problems. And like straight mobster style, y'all. Like, I mean, I'm not making this up. And that man ended up paying thousands of dollars to pay off their tuition, and they were able to stay here and do this. And that same man is actually the man who helped me really get this thing started, and he paid for my first album. He paid for our first sound system that we got. I mean, just amazing things that this man did. And he was just an old-time farmer that lived in an A-frame cabin on a farm in Kentucky. And the Lord really used him to change our lives. And thankfully, years went by, and we were able to honor him and sing at his funeral and tell those stories and things like that. But I'll sing some more. I've talked too much. I don't know why we're doing this, but I thought, man, I think most of y'all probably don't know those backstories of how all this kind of happened. And so that started a whole different journey of us trying to figure out, man, how are we gonna do this? And so we began to just write songs, and we'll do grass. All of a sudden, we're doing these worship songs, we're doing these hymns that we just love, and just leading worship. I mean, we wanted to really bring together this multi-generational thing in corporate worship, and that's why we do the old and do the new and all in between. And I didn't mean for it to happen that way. That was just natural for me, that I loved doing all that. And in the meantime, we're trying to write songs that, maybe the church would love and respond to. And as some years went by, we have this song that fell in our lap because my cousin, who was in our band for a long time, he wrote this song, and some of you have asked, hey, are you doing The Grass is Greener? And that means so much that y'all still, after all these years, love that song as much as I do. And I could tell you so many stories of how the Lord has used this song, and it's just remarkable. And sometimes I really do have to pinch myself because I just think, man, I can't believe that we get to do this, and that people respond to it the way they do. And so all of a sudden we have some of these original songs that that the church was starting to respond to. And that was truly a dream come true, because when you start off doing this, you never know. You just never know how it's going to turn out. And so I'll quit talking and we'll do this song, The Grass is Greener.
I'll lay this body down and wear a crown and walk around with you. These aches and pains will go away when all these troubled days are through. The grass is greener there with you. This bag of broken bones will have a home, and they will dance for you. These blinded eyes will open wide to see the miracles you do. The grass is greener there with you. The grass is greener on the other side with you. The rumors that we've heard are not just words. The words we've heard are true. The grass is greener on the other side of the hill. These eyes that cry will one day dry, and they will look for you. This heart that sleeps will start to beat when it is given life with you. The grass is greener there with you. The grass is greener on the other side with you. The rumors that we've heard are not just words. The words we've heard are true. The grass is greener on the other side of the hill. The grass is greener on the other side with you. The rumors that we've heard are not just words. The words we've heard are true. The grass is greener on the other side. The light is brighter on the other side. The grass is greener on the other side with you. We'll throw another old one at you. Precious Lord, take my hand. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When the darkness appears and the night draws near and the day is past and gone, at the river I'll stand, guide my feet, hold my head, take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me
And so one thing people ask me all the time, they said, well, why did you call it the Jason Lovins Band? And I didn't want that to happen. I really didn't. I was fine with the 4 o'clock band, but then we weren't really the 4 o'clock band anymore because, as I said, all those guys went and got real jobs. And so then I was just going by my name, like, you know, Jason Lovins. Like, it worked for Chris Tomlin. I was like, well, that's fine. I mean, I'll just use my name. And people started calling us the Jason Lovins Band, and it just kind of morphed into that. And I struggled with having my name on it because, you know, I'm the worst musician in the band, so that's not really fair. But then I thought, well, that's also kind of smart that I'm the worst musician in the band because I surround myself with good people. But my wife was like, you know, if you have a different drummer that shows up, you're still the Jason Lovins Band, and it's a cool name. And I'm like, yeah, maybe it is. And so anyway, but also people don't believe me that Lovins is actually my real last name, and it is. I'll tell you this one, this is for free. When I met my wife in college, she said, the very first day I ever met her, she said, well, my name's Jana Manley. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. If we ever got married, it would be the Manley Lovins wedding. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I don't really know you. You're really pretty. So, like, maybe someday that could happen. But yeah, and so on our wedding announcement, we made sure to put the Manley Lovins wedding on there. So, yeah, that didn't cost you anything. But, and so what had happened was we literally would just start kind of singing these old songs, and we'd throw in the new ones and kind of everything in between. And before I realized it, I mean, that's kind of what we were known for. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. Because then we get invited to senior citizen banquets, and it's awesome. Just saying, y'all. by the way, that wasn't the first one I had ever done. We're kind of known around this country for doing those. And I'm like, bring it on, y'all, because y'all are the ones that are still buy CDs. It's really amazing how all that works out. But I will say this. I had the sweetest 73-year-old woman came up to me the other day, and she said, I really want to buy your new CD, but my Cadillac doesn't have a CD player. And I'm thinking, well, I just feel real sorry for you. But I wanted her to have a CD, but y'all, CDs are dying. It's a thing. Like, it's, you know, if we took a poll, I bet a lot of you wouldn't have a CD player in your car. So that's why we sell coffee mugs now. So there's that. I've talked so much. Have I missed any of the really important things that, well, if y'all remember, Rodney and Jose, they got married to Kentucky girls. We got green cards, amen. It's a big deal. And it's a big deal. It's hard, y'all. It was really hard. Yeah, that deserves it. It was a long, drawn-out process, and it was expensive, but they both decided, you know what, we want to be United States citizens, and so they are now officially Americans, and that's a big deal. And so different people have come along the way, and you mentioned our drummer, Aaron, who's been with us a good almost 2 years now. He went to college with us, and so we knew Aaron for a long time. But before that, we had this kid back here on the drums named Drew Riley. He was with us for almost 4 years. And when Aaron was on vacation this week, I called Drew and I said, man, you want to go back to First Baptist Blountville with us? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So we're thankful he was able to come and fill in for us this weekend. So you may not recognize him because I don't think he had that fancy mustache last time. Yeah. Zach was here with us at Culture Shock, and that was your first time here, right? And if you don't remember, Zach has only been with us since last November, and he, I've known him. He told me when I called him to join this band, he said, I've been waiting on this call for 10 years. If you do this long enough, y'all, like the kids start coming up. I mean, it's really amazing. And so it's kind of neat how all that happened, and he's been out with us now just doing a great job. So, and then y'all remember our friend Chris Music running sound for us. He's been with me going on 6 years, y'all. He was here. You probably played guitar for Culture Shock, didn't you? Yeah. And we moved him to sound, and because when we lost our sound guy, he said, you know what, I'll do whatever you need me to do. I'll play guitar, I'll run sound. We thought about having him do both, and it just worked out that we were able to do it that way. So he's just been awesome, and does a lot of stuff for us. So I've talked way too much. Have I missed any really, really important things? I mean, I wanted them to kind of hear a little bit of where we started, you know, and any questions, comments, concerns? I'm just kidding. How about we played this one last night, and I got a little distracted because they delivered dessert, and you missed it. And I may or may not. I called my wife, and I was like, literally, I almost choked singing this song because the strawberry shortcake was so good. I was trying to eat it in between lyrics, and it didn't work out. So we hadn't really played this one in a while, so that'd be fun. Yeah, let's throw a little Wayfaring Stranger at you as we close it out here tonight. I love this one for a lot of reasons, but it also allows these guys to show off a little bit and show what the Lord's blessed them with, and I love that because they're super talented, and so we'll throw this one at you. I am a poor wayfaring stranger while traveling through this world of woe, yet there's no sickness, toil, no danger in that bright world to which
church I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there no more to wrong. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way, oh, it's rough and steep. But golden fields lie out before me, where the redeemed shall ever sleep. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. From every trial, my body sleep in the churchyard. I'll drop the cross of self-denial and enter on my great reward. I'm going there to see my Savior, to sing His praise forevermore. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home.
We'll do our newest song because, y'all, I hear like kids singing this song, and it's amazing. Again, when you start to do this, and you just put songs out there that you hope that people will respond to, and it's pretty special to hear the kids singing it. So sorry to the parents who hear it all the time, but we'll share this with you. Just a couple more. This is our newest song called Sovereign Lord.
In the beginning, there was you, no one else, nothing else but you. hands. I have plans, won't you guide my steps?
Aren't you thankful for that?
How great you are, sovereign Lord. There is no one like you, and there is no God but you. Oh, how great you are, sovereign Lord. There is no one like you. There is no God but you. Oh, when my final breath I take, I close my eyes and I see your face.
Can you stand and sing that with us tonight? How great you are.
Oh, how great you are, sovereign Lord. There is no one like you, and there is no God but you. Oh, how great you are, sovereign Lord. There is no one like you, and there is no God but you. Oh, how great you are, sovereign Lord. There is no one like you, and there is no God but you. Oh, one more time, sing how great you are, sovereign Lord. There is no one like you, and there is no God but you. Oh,
You guys can be seated. So I'll leave you with this. I really believe with all my heart that that God truly was writing my story from the very beginning, and with the plan that I would be bold enough to share my story. And it was weird for me as a kid growing up because I just didn't talk about it because I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. Is really the best way I know to explain it. And so I never talked about it until literally the band started. I mean, if somebody would ask me, I would tell them. And like my friends knew, my girlfriend knew in high school, things like that. I didn't mind talking about it, but it was harder for other people to talk about. And so I just didn't talk about it. And so literally it wasn't even till the band started. We were in front of just a little church one night, and I just started sharing my story because, it just kind of hit me that, wait a minute, I might be getting to do this music thing that I've dreamed of my whole life, and God's making a way, and maybe, just maybe, He was making a way because I knew that He had His hand on me through my situation, on my family, my whole life. And if you don't know, my mom, walking home from the pool one day, the nicer way to say it would be just assaulted, just not good, and didn't remember it. Months went on. My grandma had 4 other kids. She was chasing around. She said, "Your mom was my good kid," and she said, "I just missed it." Months went on. My mom will tell you she was very naive for 15. She didn't understand anything about babies, so she didn't know what was happening. Finally, she'd been gaining weight, and she told my grandma one day, "I'm sick, I need to go to the doctor." I'm sure I've told this at some point, but she was literally laying back on the couch and had a plate resting on her stomach, and she was eating, and the plate moved, and she wasn't touching it. And it scared her to death. Y'all, it was the early 80s. Scary movies were like a thing, and so imagine this kid processing this, and that's how I imagine it anyway. So she told my grandma, I need to go to the doctor. And so they did, and the doctor come out and said, well, she's pregnant. And after the initial shock wore off, the best way I know to tell it is I had a praying mama who said, we're going to go to church and we're going to pray. And that's what they did. And if you were to have heard her tell the story, she just made it sound so simple. And I understand that it couldn't have been that easy, but you see, my grandma very much understood just how big God is. Understood that he's so big, in fact, that he wasn't surprised by me. Don't we think that when bad things happen? We think, oh, Lord, as if he didn't know it was going to happen, and that's just not how it works. And she knew that and believed that. And so for my grandma and her 15-year-old daughter, they had some choices that they had to make. And I, literally just even this week, I had a meeting with someone who is trying to get us to come and be a part of some just big rallies and different things. And I have to kind of tiptoe through that because the reality of it is, y'all, there's some crazy people out there. All I've ever wanted to do and all that I will ever continue to do is just share my story and love and share what God did through my family and for my family. And so literally, I'm thankful to tell you that abortion was just not going to be an option. My grandma had a lot of Christian people telling her, now, it would be okay, in the case, y'all know. You hear what the world says. So what happened was my mom, when she heard my heartbeat for the first time, she told my grandma, I want to keep it. And I always tell people I'm positive that my 15-year-old mom had no idea what she was getting herself into. But my grandma did, and she said, okay, that's what we'll do. And so they would literally start a journey that I'm sure had no idea what was going to happen, but it was centered around love and centered around the fact that Jesus loves us and would continue to just share that with me over and over and over. It's always been enough. Always has been. And I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. But what happened was I had a pastor pull me aside and he said, I don't think you understand what the Lord's going to do through you and through this band if you just keep sharing this story. And I have, and I could tell you countless stories of how the Lord has used that. And y'all, even stories that I tell other people of things that have happened here at Culture Shock. It happens all the time. And so that's why I do what I do. That's why I literally sometimes feel like I'm crawling into that van. And we're going to drive home tonight. And we'll do it again next week. We're in South Carolina next week. I think we're in Florida the week after. But y'all, it's truly an honor to get to do what we do. And you guys, especially over the years, have really played a big part in that. And so thank you. Thanks for that. I'll never, ever, ever be able to even put into words my gratitude for just the support you guys have given us all these years. And there's only a handful of places, and I mean this, there's really only a handful of places we come to that truly feel like family. We got a lot of friends. We go a lot of cool places, but it's just not always the same. So just know that it means so much. And literally, like, anytime you guys call, like, I come running. We were doing anything we could to get back here. And so it means a lot, and y'all mean a lot to me. I mean that. I've talked way too much. We'll leave you with this. I again had somebody ask, hey, are you going to do that song? And so it does. It means a lot. But This is one that I wasn't sure people would respond to. I mean, it was really just for me, and my cousin and I wrote this about our grandma, and it's been really neat to hear how people have responded. And even just last week, I had a lady come up to me and she said, "That's what I want people to say about me." Because literally, my grandma, you could have a conversation with her within seconds. Somehow she was pointing you to Jesus. Shouldn't that be what we do, y'all? Far too often I hear people say things, church people. Far too often I see church people on Facebook put things you ain't got no business putting on there and sharing things that you ain't got no business sharing. And I see it so often, and my grandma would just say, "You're just being silly." That was her version of "bless your heart," you know. But I'll tell you this, you know, my mom was lucky. My mom was lucky to have a mom like she did. I know a whole lot of women, y'all, who were not so lucky and had went through those things and really felt alone, and through just the cloudiness of the trauma that they were going through, made decisions that truly they regret for the rest of their lives. I don't just know a few, I know a lot. And I don't know why they come and tell me, but I'm thankful to hear it and love on them. But what we need to understand is, you know, we get real good at putting sin in categories. And it gets real easy to talk about the sin that doesn't affect us, that we don't have a problem with, you know. And I think so often we need to tell people how much Jesus loves them instead of telling them how terrible they are. Because until you met Jesus, you're pretty terrible too. The beauty of Jesus is you're still pretty terrible. But because of him, things change. You see what I mean? We're all sinners. We've all fallen short. And far too often, I'm seeing that. And yeah, I know that there are people who have done those things and don't care, could care less. But I know an awful lot who genuinely are just wrecked and truly regret, who think God hates them. I know an awful lot like that. And so I just wonder what this world would look like if we start to take a different approach on how we share the love of Jesus with people. It looked different. And that's been my heart, just, you know, and it's a challenge to me too, because it's easy for me to talk about y'all. Like, I mean, think about it. You know, I don't have this whole side getting on to me about things because, you know, the pro-choice people, if you will, because what are they going to say to me? You see what I mean? You think about it. And so I don't really deal with that a lot. But I'm seeing that more and more, and I know people who are just so wrecked over the choices that they've made. And all they need to hear is, you know what? I've made bad choices too, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for Jesus. And the whole reason why God even sent him to this world. Just the simple gospel message is what we need to be telling people. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tell you all that either, but I'm going to trust that was for somebody. We'll leave you with a song that I'm truly honored to share. It's called I Want to Be Known.
I want to be known for being rooted like a tree. I want to be known for being strong in times when people need. I want to be known for the calluses on my knees. I want to be known for the time I spend in prayer. I want to be known for reminding us you're always there. When people say my name, I want your name to follow soon. I want to be known for the way that I've known you. When people think of me, they think of you. When people speak of me, they speak of you. When my days have seen their end, your song will still carry through. 'Cause I want to be known for the way that I've known you. I want to be known for your mercy and your truth. When troubled times may come, I've been a friend that follows through. I want to be known for loving like you do. When people think of me, they think of you. And when they speak of me, they speak of you. When my days have seen their end, your song will still carry through. 'Cause I want to be known for the way that I've known you. When my days have seen their end, your song will still carry through. 'Cause I want to be known for the way that I've known you. I want to be known for the way that I've known you. God bless you, church.